My own brother and friend, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Bayelsa State, our brother, His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State, my colleague and friend, Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Niger-delta-affairs, Honorable Commissioners here present, special advisors, members of my team, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, today we are in our own state, we are in our homeland. And just some minutes ago, we arrived by Helsa, and we were taken to the guest house where we had already satisfied ourselves with the main meal of Bayelsa. And so as we sit down here, we are all filled. So I want to appreciate you and to thank you for this warm reception. And I must say that anytime we are here, we know that it's homecoming. And if you see the delegation is quite a large delegation. And we have decided to undertake this trip to discuss with the governors of the 9 Niger-Delta states briefly, to explain to them, talk to them about the upcoming event on the 21st of April 2013, after you from 21st to the 26th of April. On the 25th, Mr. President is going to declare the first ever Council of Niger-Delta Conference that will go there. The present government has been able to institutionalize a council for the Niger-Delta that we're talking about yesterday, today, and tomorrow of Niger-Delta. Today we are talking about the Ministry of Niger-Delta-Affairs. That we have Ministry of Niger-Delta-Affairs today means that there is still a lot to do. But over the period, there have been development agencies put in place by various governments working towards tackling the issues of the Niger-Delta. That we have the ministry today means that there are still gaps that are linked to the field. And that was the main reason why Ministry of Niger-Delta was created in 2008. And the ministry effectively started operations in 2009. The mandate of the ministry has been to coordinate development activities in the Niger-Delta and to do certain mega projects in the Niger-Delta. Over the period, we have been discussing and sharing ideas with a lot of development partners. The UNDP has been working with us closely. The EU, USAID, PAIN, and other development partners have been discussing and working with us. One of the major concerns of these development partners has been that, yes, they are benefiting from the activities of the Niger-Delta. They want to be involved in how decisions leading to the selection of projects are made. They want to be involved in monitoring. They want to be involved in implementation. For us as a ministry, what's important is how we can have these projects on ground for the people of the Niger-Delta. The challenges of the Niger-Delta, as we all know, dates back to 1957. From that time to now, the challenges are there. In a number of states, I have told them, and for some time now, about some 4 months ago, So many people wrote a lot of things about this government and about the Ministry of Niger-Delta. And some say the government has no passion, has no commitment. And as I go along, I try to talk and explain to people. I say, what do you call passion? What do you call commitment? For the first time in the history of this country, oil production went down to 700,000 barrels a day. Today, we are producing about 2.5, 2.6 million barrels a day. How did we get to that place? Excuse me, it has never happened in the history of this country before. A serving vice president, against all security advice, went to the crease of the Niger-Delta to talk to the militant leaders. A serving minister, against all security advice, went to the creeks of Niger-Delta, slept in the hideouts of these militant leaders, worked with them. Later, amnesty came and asked people, what do you call commitment? You got to understand commitment. Today, we have a president who believes that we must do things in the right way. Yes, he comes from the Niger-Delta, but he's the president of Nigeria, and he has to carry everybody along. And he's doing his best to see that Nigeria is moved forward. People talk about the East-West Road, and they say, why has the road not been completed? They are not bothered about where we are coming from. And I think that in the gathering of this nature, it's important to say a brief history about the East-West Road. The East-West Road was awarded in 2006 by former President Ambassador with all good intention. It was awarded for over 235 billion. And what government had as at that time was only 1.2 billion for a project of that magnitude. And they wanted the project to have been completed by 2009-2010. And the road was given to the Minister of Niger-Delta in 2009. When it was awarded, because of pressure, there were no detailed designs, no detailed drawings. All what they had was the baseline survey to enable them to award the contract. So it was in 2009-2010 that detailed designs and drawings were undertaken by the Ministry of Niger-Delta. And by 2010, the drawings were completed. Again, that was because the president felt that that road was a commitment by government and it must be completed. How do we complete it? We must have a roadmap. And that is to say, there must be detailed designs and drawings, there must be a financial plan. And so a project that was awarded in 2006 actually took off in 2010. 2010, we came to realize that the road itself has 42 bridges and 786 culverts. From 2010 to date, as we speak, 37 of those bridges have been completed. 756 of the 786 of the culverts have been completed. What is majorly revealing is the clearings and failures, which normally will take about 9-10 months. And that's why we confidently say that the road will be delivered to the people of this country, and Niger-Delta particularly, by December 2014. It is important that some of these facts be clear. Today, if you go to the road, reasonable work is being done because contractors now see the financial plan that is put in place. And as they have started accelerated in the work that they are doing, we will not stop till the road is delivered to the people of this country. Some of the bridges you'll find there, even if we have all the money, cannot be completed in 2 years. But yet people expect that the road must be delivered today. And you have to do integrity tests, do a lot of things. all over Nigeria, bridges have been collapsing. And considering the terrain that we come from, we don't want that kind of situation. That is that about the East-West Road. We also see that we have to do to complement what the state governors, state governments are doing. And we can only move a step forward if all of us come together to collectively handle a number of projects together, where we have a general framework on how to go about the development of the niger-delta. Today, as we speak, there are a number of cases of duplication of projects, and which is practically avoidable if we have a collective framework on the development of the niger-delta. And we can also conserve some resources for some other jobs. Now, Ministry of Niger-Delta was created to handle mega projects. Projects like the Coastal Road, projects like the East-West Rail Line, the East-West Road, and very few skill acquisition center projects. But of course, you also have your National Assembly here, we also have a National Assembly here. Somewhere along the line, some projects that were not practically designed by the ministry came in. And in one form or the other, we had to do some of these projects. The coastal road having some critical challenges. The initial consultancy amount that came out with about 1.3 trillion naira. And of course, you know what it means to get resources to fund that project. We are also talking about the East-West Rail Line. Last month, the Minister of Transport addressed the press conference. The consultancy for the rail line project is awarded, and the processes are going on. We also believe that in order to carry everybody along, we need to work together. So the ministry have been working with the UNT and development partners who will be able to produce what we call the niger-delta action plan. Now, a lot of people have asked, NDDC produced the niger-delta master plan. Why the action plan? Now, there is a reasonable departure from the master plan. And that is why we are going around to inform the governors about the upcoming events on 21st, where a technical committee of stakeholders will meet to look at the document that we have produced. We expect that the governors will nominate one commissioner who is in charge of infrastructure development to be part of the technical team that will prepare the briefs for the takeoff of the council. Now, the development partners that have been involved discussing with us, they also feel that, yes, they agree that they're ready to make some contributions. Like I said, they want to be involved in every solution, which we don't disagree. And we think that if the governors, other development partners, the NDDC and the ministry are working together, with a basket, we should be able to do those things one agency may not be in a position to do. And these are some of the things that we are going to discuss when we meet over there. Now, we are talking about bringing everybody together in terms of selection of projects, monitoring and implementation, which is absent in the NDDC master plan. We are also talking about involving everybody from the bottom up. That is the kind of approach. We want a situation where every community will be involved in deciding what they want in the next 5 years, 10 years. Every local government, every state so that it does not matter who becomes local government chairman or governor or president. What is important is to look at the document and say, this is what these people want, and the process will just go on. The issue of abandoned project would have been tackled, because it's the same projects that we are coming to do that we need to do for community people. Instead of the practice of people sitting in the office and deciding, this is what I think is good for the community people. It will now come from the community. We borrowed some of these concepts from the various states that we visited outside this country. Specifically, Denmark. They have a 50-year development plan. When I was advisor to the former governor of the state of urban and regional planning, I was there, I attended an international conference, and we were taken to their development center, where they have an integrated infrastructure development action plan. And the content of it is that communities, everybody was involved in producing that plan. And so for the next 50 years, they will tell you, if you come in the next 5 years, 10 years, these are the things that you are going to see. It has got nothing to do with who is in power, whether PDP or AFPP or whatever. For anybody that comes, we take off from where Mr. AFP stops. And so there's a lot of reflection also from that document that is inside here. And on the average, we are also looking at it that in the next 5 years, we need not less than $10 billion as a kickoff investment for infrastructure development for the niger-delta, which we have worked together with development partners. By the time we meet over, the program is coming out from 21st to 26th April. We're able to come up with a number of issues. I will take off from there and we'll agree. I will go into the aspect of the segment of needs assessment. I will come out with a document. It will go a long way in assisting the various governments on what we should do to move the niger-delta forward. The council, particularly, officially, the niger-delta has been given a council, which was approved by the Federal Executive Council, to at least meet once a year to talk about niger-delta. Where are we coming from? Our preferred way. Where should we be in the next 10, 15, 20 years? These are the issues that the council will deliberate on. And so that kind of sanity is needed for us to move forward. So all what we are will about discussing and sharing with the government is that if we come together, there will be collective reasoning, then there will be collective ownership. And so that collective responsibility will take us very far. Your Excellency, we want to thank you. 3 weeks ago, we had sent this document to all the states. But as we are going around, we believe that we should also submit this to you so that your people can also look at it. When they are coming, they will come with a form of opinion of this government as to what we should collectively do to move the niger-delta forward. I would love to end my address by saying that we cannot have a better period than now. And so all hands are expected to be on deck for us to move together and support Mr. President. I want to, on behalf of myself, my colleague, and the Minister of Niger-Delta, and the Federal Executive Council of this country, to say a big thank you to you for being the chief host to our principal, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You have spent some few months in government now, and I would love to say that we are happy coming of each time we want to country. I want to thank you for the bold steps that you have also taken these states to move Bayelsa forward. Once again, I want to thank you as I present the Niger-Delta Action Plan. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, distinguished of the good people of Bayelsa State, and by extension, every Izoman, wherever you may be, His Excellency, Honorable Henry HSDickson, to now formally make a response. Let's put out to the back of the head.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, my reliable and dependable ally and partner, the Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State. My brother, the Second Minister of Bayelsa Extraction, the Honorable Minister of Niger-delta-affairs, and the Honorable Minister of States here in our presence. Let me recognize the Secretary to Government of Bayelsa State, the members of the Bayelsa State Executive Council, the Chief of Staff, the Principal Executive Secretary, Special Advisors, Senior Special Assistants. Let me recognize also and appreciate the presence of the other members of the Minister's very distinguished entourage. There was one member that the MC left out, because equity regards has done that which ought to be done. Well, she's on this side here, temporarily on secondment. My Commissioner for Manpower Development. Gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister and members of your team, let me, on behalf of the government and the good people of Bayelsa State, your people and your government, welcome you, members of the entourage, heartily to Bayelsa State and to Government House. Let me also appreciate the wonderful job that you and your ministry are performing at the federal level. I want to also, on a personal note, thank you for being a bulwark of support to your boss, our leader and president, and the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I know that your ministry in recent times has come under a lot of criticism. And that is partly as a result of the over-politicization of things in our country, where some people and some persons, because of ambitions, politicize everything and anything else. I know that we're all aware of the very daunting challenges in terms of the developmental needs of the Niger-Delta region. We are a region that has been so heavily assailed, heavily underdeveloped. And the story of Niger-Delta in this country is synonymous with underdevelopment. It didn't start now. But we are happy that the federal government saw the need to, in addition to creating the NDDC, the federal government saw the need to also elevate issues of the Niger-Delta and its development to the level of having a cabinet representation by the establishment of the Ministry of Niger-Delta. But we should not think that we're going to see development in the Niger-Delta overnight, and that the establishment of the Niger-Delta Ministry will wipe away decades of accumulated neglect and underdevelopment of a very peculiar terrain, very peculiar environment that is constantly assailed, well, very peculiar developmental challenges and issues. So I think that the realistic opinion of most well-meaning people in the region is that, yes, we need to see concerted effort Yes, we need to see focus, but then the reality is that the expected development, the expected redress of most of these problems will not come overnight. And our sincere opinion in Bayelsa is that the federal government, under the leadership of Mr. President, with you and what you are all doing in your ministry, you are on track to lay a solid foundation for the expected development of the peoples of the Niger-Delta. So, I want to commend the efforts your ministry and the federal government have been making in this regard in very difficult circumstances. I have been here and for the past 1 year grappling with issues of development of Bayelsa State. And as the MC said, here in Bayelsa, as you rightly know, this is the real Niger of the Delta. This is where you see the underdevelopment and the challenges of the Niger Delta in their starkest reality. And building a road here, we know what it costs us in terms of the sheer volume of work and technical details that go into it, as well as the cost. And when you replicate that all across the length and breadth of the Niger Delta, then you will now realize that sometimes we need to be more patient, we need to be hopeful, but above all else, we need to be more supportive and to be able to encourage you on what the federal government is doing. I know some issues have been raised about the East-West Road, and I'm very gratified with the very, very illuminating statistics that you have reeled out to us this afternoon. I'm very encouraged. All of us who have listened to what you and your ministry have been doing quietly are very impressed with the steps that you have taken in very difficult circumstances to ensure that this very critical piece of infrastructure is delivered not just to the people of the Niger Delta, but delivered to Nigeria. And so I want to thank you and urge you to not to lose focus. I think you're on track with what you have said, with the successes that have already been recorded in terms of that road. And most importantly, with your emphasis now on bringing all stakeholders on board. And this is one very critical thing that I think you are pioneering, and I want to again thank you for it, because at the end of the day, the development of the Niger Delta, the development of this region, is the collective dream and should be the collective duty of all of us. We shouldn't make it to be like an us and them situation. I'm very delighted at your proposal to have an all-inclusive summit so that we can all harness our various resources and then at the end of the day, make inputs and come back to a concrete time frame for a collaborative developmental agenda of the Niger-Delta region. So I want to commend you on that, and I assure you that the government of Bayelsa State will collaborate effectively with you on that summit. We look forward to a very robust summit. We'll be there and participate actively in the work of that summit and all that will come thereafter. That's a good venture. I think that at that summit, we will now bring all stakeholders, state governments, development agencies like the NDDC and all of us, so that instead of staying and dissipating energies without coordination, and very often in duplication of our various respective efforts, we'll now come up with a concerted blueprint on how to bring about development. I think that's a very wonderful initiative that you and the federal government have come up with. And you can be sure of the support and the participation of the government of Bayelsa State. We know that there are several issues. You've talked about the coastal roads, you've talked about our dream of having the railway, here. and so on. We at the Niger-Delta governors level have also talked about the need to channel our resources in that direction. And I believe that at the forum we shall have in New York that we are proposing, that will give us a good opportunity to brainstorm on all of this. So generally speaking, Honorable Minister, I want to wish you well. I want to commend what you've been able to achieve in spite of the challenges and the unnecessary, sometimes over-politicization of developmental issues. I'm very gratified with the successes that you have recorded in terms of this very critical role. So I want to thank you for finding time to come. You know you are a Bayelsan. You don't need any invitation here. That's why I refer to you as our second minister. You are welcome here any day. And here, even for the gentlemen who are here, we have a saying that all good human beings are Bayelsans. And I can see that you are very excellent human beings, wonderful people, and therefore you are all Bayelsans. And so let me welcome you all home. I want to thank you for finding time to come. I want to thank you also for doing all that you are doing to support the work of the ministry, and the federal government. Thank you very much.